Hello there.
Thinking of new dreams.
I
dream of visions which have yet to be seen.
いつも新しい夢を考えてきた。
Which have not yet been
見たことのないものを、
From dreams
聞いたことのない音を
to new reality.
現実の形にしてきた。
In this universe, new dreams and new friends.
この宇宙は新しい夢と仲間でいっぱいだ。
Panasonic, always new dreams, wonderful friends.
パナソニック、いつも新しい夢、素晴らしい仲間。
Panasonic, Itsumo, something.
Hello there, Calcutard here.
And the Bendu.
Coming back for another weekly podcast. What is this intro? That was a George Lucas Japanese Panasonic ad from the 80s.
I always forget how much of a fever dream the end of that thing gets. Like as soon as
it's amazing.
Ewoks show up and they just start holding hands, it's like, oh my god.
It's so aesthetic. It's borderline experimental. No, it's absolutely incredible. We have two excellent guests here waiting in the wings to watch us, and I really wish that they were out here with us because they just had a very priceless reaction to that intro. I was cracking up.
You can see them? Shit.
I'm talking about Dan Miller and Chris Ryons of Broaxium. Come on out here, guys. Come on out here.
What's up, man? How you guys doing tonight? Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
It was totally not the clip I was originally thinking that it was going to be. Like, I was totally expecting something else. And
this is the most amazing thing I have ever seen.
It was very relaxed.
Was that?
Yeah,
that got better and better as it went on. I was like, those weird Japanese commercials, and oh my god. He
did a series of them. He did a series of them in the 80s, and they're all like just crazy aesthetic, just like vaporwave as hell. They're amazing.
I'm gonna watch them all.
And that music was beautiful. Like I was just like, this is very relaxing.
That was real. That was real. Yes, the music is like we just got transported into George Lucas's imagination a little bit.
That was totally
it was almost sexual. It seemed a little sexual, like that. Like, it was very like like right in the middle of an '80s sex scene, like that passionate music.
It kind of like there should have been some raunchy stacks in there, like the Blade Runner.
Maybe it's just me.
There was nothing. Yeah, it was so good. So good. But yeah,
hello there, Anakin Skywalker. Excited to see what you get up to tonight in Kenobi, what your antics are going to be.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Hello.
Yeah, we've only got one episode left, and we were kind of talking about that back just before we started. I'm kind of in denial. I'm lying to myself. I'm like, yeah, there's going to be some Kenobi tonight, and then there's going to be some more next week, and then like it's just going to keep going. It's like, no, the party ends tonight, man. And it's going to be rough.
Oh my god, there's just so many things.
It's just like being able to see, a miniature painting being done, and like, yeah, there's no season 2, and there doesn't even necessarily need to be a season 2, but what we got was like, this little art piece that's just is more of emotion that now that when we rewatch Alec Guinness, it's like the best seasoning salt now to be like, oh.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was saying that before episode 5 dropped. I went back and I rewatched A New Hope and all the Alec Guinness scenes in A New Hope instead of rewatching Clone Wars or Revenge of the Sith or what have you. And it really did kind of change the way that I viewed Kenobi's performance. And like, he really is physically just sort of like withdrawing into himself a little bit more. And like, it's not just how he's speaking, it's how he's moving and how he's acting. And like, you really got to respect it. It's like Ewan's doing some serious acting here beyond just like, he's not just reprising a role, he's merging it more with something that he never was portraying before.
He's
so
taking that Kenobi character to the to the next level. Getting to see him, the same actor portray these different areas of this character and do it flawlessly. And like, man, watching Obi-Wan make me think back to Clone Wars and just the prequel era films, and I was just like, man, they don't realize how good they had it back then, and
seriously,
and, just they had their lives together and everything, with everything going on, of course. But man,
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
super heartbreaking.
Thing that I really love about this show is I had to drive to West Virginia the other day, and I was like, I need something to listen to, and I downloaded Kenobi by John Jackson Miller.
Nice.
And I'll tell you what, besides like all of like the story that surrounds his journey on Tatooine or whatever, the character is so freaking similar to what like we got. Like, he's a little bit more brand new, but like this is like, this would actually be a few years.
There's an authenticity in there.
Yeah, it really feels like the Kenobi we're getting. It's like they took that book, they took those journals that we came from the comics, and they really put that feel in there on what Kenobi is like. Oh my God, his struggle is so awesome. I love his struggle and how good he's playing that struggle. Like, Ewan is killing it for me.
There's something just like I don't know, not to pin it on a specific one, but there's something innately religious about Kenobi in the desert, having his isolation, the hermitage, like the solemn charge of watching
like
the
his
chosen
penance.
one. Literally overseeing a messiah of the Force.
Yeah.
That like, I don't know, I feel like as an actor you would have to approach that role with a different kind of respect.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel that respect. You feel like Ewan McGregor isn't just like coming in for a paycheck. Like, he's actually digging deep and taking the character to somewhere that he's never taken it before.
Oh yeah.
And that struggle, like you said, it's so meaty and there's so much in it and it's so raw that like it'd be such a miss just not to dive into that. It's important. Going back to what you were just saying, Chris, for a second, about how like it could have been so different, they could have been such a happy family together. I saw an interview with Hayden Christensen talking about how if he had prioritized being a parent over acting recently, and he said, without a question, like talking, and he talked about how it reshaped his priorities and how being a father means everything to him. And as cool as that was to hear, God, I just twisted that knife that much more, thinking about what a doting father Anakin Skywalker would have been to little Luke and Leia. Happily living on Coruscant with Padme, like
that hurts.
Man.
Like, I know someone did a
big
story. Someone photoshopped a more aged Anakin with Padme and had the child, the child actors who were doing Luke and Leia for Obi-Wan, like they made an image together, and I was like, we're never ever going to see that. It was never meant to be, and that sucks.
Yeah,
I saw a series of those with Adam Driver's like high school picture, and they put in with Harrison and Harry as well.
Yeah,
it's like, oh man, what if?
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's
Max is doing pretty good back here. He's hanging out. Is that what we're gonna say?
It's a prime spot.
It's just like, even someone like Ben Skywalker. I mean, Ben Solo, how he was, sorry, little mix up in legends there. But Ben Solo, he was raised by like a mother, great mom, uncle and all that. And look at how he turned out. It's just like, you never know. You never know with the Force and kids and whatnot.
There's also the message in there of never underestimate a corrupting outside influence.
Like, what?
I mean, that was kind of
who knows?
You can have the purest child and you can raise him right, but if your neighbor starts whispering funky shit into his ear, Who knows how it turns out?
But I'm just saying, like, that's like, who knows how Luke would have turned out at this point, or Leia would have turned out if Anakin was normal. Who knows? He could have been, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like a twin.
Oh,
you know,
dude,
they raised together. There could have been twin competitiveness, you know. And,
maybe the crazy skipped the generation, and now Luke becomes a tyrant.
Right. I don't know if it would be on that like Zuko Azula level competitiveness.
That could have been a thing.
You know damn well that like not Padme, Leia would totally be like daddy's little girl, and Luke would totally be the mama's boy. Like, you already know that that's how, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that is
totally would have been like, she probably would have been the first person that Anakin would have given a saber, I think, or she probably would have taken his saber and been like, "Let's fucking go, Dad! Like, let's go."
But you know, like exactly, she would have been the apple in Dad's eye, and there could have been a little jealousy there when it came to getting Dad's, like, you know,
the favorite
Jedi attention and whatnot. And who knows how Luke could have turned out, you know, and whatnot.
Fire Lord Luke, dude.
Absolutely,
we would have gotten Luke.
And then they go outside, and Palpatine's washing the speeder like Biff Tannen at the end of Back.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that would be so great.
Chancellor Valorum is like in his 5th fucking term. Like,
where's Jar Jar at, man? Like,
dude, no, Jar Jar became
he's still banished.
Yeah, he's like prime new senator. No, he's big boss. He's big.
Yeah,
boss.
he's boss. He's boss Binks now. Boss Binks.
Daddy Binks now.
That's what Binks need, actually. Is
fucking big boss Daddy Binks. That's
what's up.
Yeah.
I hope that these
people, at that point.
Disney is they're bringing back more and more stuff from Legends, but it really feels like their first stop on the like, where should I grab content from? Is still like established Disney canon that hasn't made it to the screen yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So something that shows up in, say, like the Aftermath novels by Chuck Wendig is more likely to show up than, say, Children of the Jedi by Barbara Hambly. But it's not impossible. You know, they still are reaching deep like that.
Well, I'm hoping like we get something simple like Obi-Wan's Eopie's name. And if it's Rue, then they're kind of paying homage to John Jackson Miller's novel.
Totally.
Like, we need a name.
I feel like canon, until canon is implicitly stated, it hasn't been overwritten. So that Eopie's name is Rue. Right. Until on screen, he's like, "Come here, Fred."
Yeah.
Until that happens, like, it could still be Rue. Sometimes they bend over backwards to like establish canon that they really didn't need to do. Like Legos, like the Lego Skywalker Saga game has a databank entry making Muchi and Patissa the same fucking rank.
Oh yeah.
So now we've got this like one double named hermaphrodite Rancor because Patissa was a guy and Muchi's a girl, both of which are established. Like,
well, there's only one Rancor in the whole galaxy. Like, I mean,
it's only one.
Yeah,
and
like,
he has all the names.
Just multiplies asexually.
Yeah,
hey, you just like frogs, man. Life finds a way.
That's right.
Right.
You never know. But Patissa is Huttese for friend. So they could have easily been like, his name is Muchi and his nickname is Patissa. Malakili calls him Patissa because he's his baby, his friend. But no, they're straight up like, his name is Muchi Friend, and he is both male and female, and he's the only Rancor on Tatooine. Don't look it up.
There's only one Rancor at a time on Tatooine.
Yeah.
That's the official. That is what we were given officially by Lego Star Wars. Yeah, is that it's So
the only Rancor in
existence. Pour some out. F's in the chat for Muchi Friend, the canon Rancor.
Friend. Yeah, I'm down with Muchi Friend.
Yeah, Muchi Friend sounds like some broken English that like a Huttese speaking like a lackey of Jabba.
Muchi Friend.
His name, I call him Muchi Friend.
It's a Muchi Friend.
Yeah, F's for Muchi Friend, man. We'll have an in memoriam reel pulled up for him for next week.
I'm down with that.
God.
Yeah, let's pose that to everybody. Last episode surprises, man. Are we talking name drops? Are we talking cameos? Like, how big should we set these expectations here? It's important to temper them somewhat so you can have a good time regardless. Cool. That's my secret, but like, it's not illegal to hope for stuff, man.
Right.
I don't know. I would love to see Cal Kestis just kick everybody's ass and just show up on screen, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Would Qui-Gon be a surprise? Like,
I mean, I said that since day one. If we get just the Liam Neeson, if we just get,
I think that's what Dan's getting at, is that like that's an obvious one. Like I think we've all been
he doesn't
hoping
even
for
have to say
day
anything.
one.
That's what I mean. It's because like
Skywalker treatment. You could just show up, it should be a silhouette, and like boom, then we know.
Exactly,
like,
Cole,
cool,
exactly.
This is how Alec Guinness learned how to become a ghost. Solid.
I hate to keep referencing it, but I mean, dude, in the Kenobi novel, the same thing is happening. Like he's trying to connect with Qui-Gon. It's amazing how much they're paying to that novel. It's a really good read. I suggest anybody who hasn't read it, read the Kenobi novel by John Jackson Miller.
The people making these shows aren't drawing as deeply and comprehensively from the existing source material and from Legends and from the expanded universe is a constructed narrative. And it's one that I greatly resent because it has never once been proven right. And it's something that I think we all need to just sort of dispel collectively as a notion that like these people know what they're doing. They are pulling from such obscure places and they're like demonstrating it with each and every episode. You can find so many instances of like, oh, wow, that takes some real like bottom of the iceberg knowledge right there to even know about that control panel that they added on there.
Right.
Like there's so many fans working on these shows. Like give them that respect, give them that benefit of the doubt.
That's true, but it's like I'm glad that they now have, like, they've come out and said like, we've hired someone who is like our canon expert who like helps us not cross the time streams, So like they actually
can't cross the streams.
Crack of shit, yeah.
And I'll have you know that every single person on the internet is an armchair canon expert.
Don't make me bust out the Canon comic book, okay? All right.
No, man.
I have it right here.
Down. It's made of paper mache, and I made it myself, and I graduated from Star Wars University with that thing. So,
no,
here's my diploma.
No, I have it here every day, like just sitting here. The first issue of Canon. The first issue of Canon. We were talking about Canon.
Oh, nice.
We're talking about Canon directors and whatnot. It's just kind of a little slip up amongst storytellers. It's no big deal.
It's true. It's true.
It's not a big deal.
Like Shakti's death. Man.
I mean, it keeps.
Yeah, there
me
you go.
awake.
That's my prediction. I would like Shakti to show back up and die again in the finale. Of
4 or 5 times.
How dare you be that sexy of a Jedi Master in a video game? Fuck.
God, I love that video game. No matter how out of control it is.
Force Unleashed is great, man. Force Unleashed is great, and
fun game.
We've been getting a lot of Force Unleashed love in Kenobi. A lot of Force Unleashed love. Both, I'm talking Vader gripping the ship.
Yeah, and you were. I remember you saying something about the names, on the wall there.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah, I will be talking a little bit about that. So. The thing is, so I got my hands in some very illuminating materials. Allowed me to put together a complete decryption of all of the carvings on the walls of the hangar from Jabiim.
How do you do this stuff?
There are two locations that had wall carvings involved, and one of them is the safe house on Mapuzo, and the other one is the hangar wall on Jabiim on episode 4 and 5.
Jabiim.
We only saw about a third of what was actually carved onto the wall, and I've seen a lot of fan decryptions around there. Have really done a really good job of translating basically every inch of what we did get shown.
I only did one. I saw one. I was like, "Cause I got Arabish my arm." I'm like,
so the title.
Looking at it, trying to decode it.
The top that I found, like people came up with like 5 names, 5 or 6 Jedi names, which is pretty crazy. Like earlier in Star Wars comics, in the Vader comics, we actually got a list of Jedi, not confirmed, but Jedi that the Empire suspected to have escaped Order 66, like ones that were still at large. And Quinlan Vos was canonized from that. So before Kenobi, we actually knew that he had survived, or at least the Empire thought that he had.
Man, fucking Dark Horse Comics made him survive.
Full confirmation from the episode. But I was able to find 16 Jedi survivor names. There's 16, and only 2 of them were already canon.
Holy crap!
Yeah, 16 total.
And the rest of the
he was on the wall of the Mapuzo stronghold.
Part of him is also
interestingly, he's not on the wall of the Jabiim hangar, but he is credited in what I have as having written the quote that Qui-Gon reads aloud. Only when the
Nice.
eyes are closed can you truly see. I guess Quinlan like marked a little Q at the end of it, or what have you, because Obi-Wan is supposed to know that was actually Quinlan.
Well, I mean, that's Quinlan's thing with his force psychometry. So that's how one of the ways he sees.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of the I'm glad you brought that up too, because one of the names is actually one of the characters in Legends who's first known for teaching force psychometry to his students.
Which one was
he led a sect of Jedi away from the Jedi Order because he was kind of the Martin Luther of the Jedi Order. He was like, we should be able to train at any age. We should be able to have multiple Padawans. Like, all of these teachings are like holding us back. And he kind of formed a splinter faction, and his name was on the wall. So quite a lot of interesting stuff. So the way I'm going to do it is as I cut together a video. It's going to go live on YouTube, and I'm also going to premiere it at the end of the podcast. So that's going to be happening in a little bit here. It's like 10 minutes long. I don't know if we want to sit through it right now. We can just do it at the end here.
Okay.
Let's talk about some Kenobi hype first, though.
Yes.
Because I don't think anything in the video is going to change the discussion regardless. There's a lot going on. Do you think we'll see Maul in this episode? As unlikely as it is, he is alive, isn't he?
He is.
Possible.
Oh, yeah.
He's out there. So I don't think we're going to see him.
Also,
we haven't even had a mention of Crimson Dawn.
I was about to say, I think Kira's going to show up at the end of this one because I've been waiting for her since the fucking Book of Boba Fett.
Right. I know.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, because Solo takes place, like, obviously before Rogue One.
Yes. Solo's taking place, like, right now.
Kira would be the same age as the twins. Like, Kira's not gonna show up.
Kira's the same age roughly as Han, and Han is about 5 or 6 years older than the twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but she wouldn't show up because she would only be like 12.
Yes, she's currently either a street rat on Corellia or she is like a fledgling Crimson Dawn intern, I guess, is the polite
because I
way
think
of saying
if it's 10 years after Clone Wars, I think Obi-Wan and Solo are at the same time, like the beginning of Solo.
This is 5 years after the conclusion of Jedi Fallen Order, and we've had it confirmed. I can't remember the source, but we've had it confirmed that Jedi Survivor takes place the same year as Kenobi. I don't know if that's relevant or not.
I hope so.
I think it will be with Jabiim. I think like Jabiim will probably potentially be a heavy
with the path, with the way
story planet. Yeah.
It's a very cool concept, having like an underground railroad for Jedi survivors. And I'm surprised that it took this long to tell that story.
What a concept. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it just makes sense. Everyone gets upset when they hear about like, oh, well, the Jedi are supposed to be dead. And it's like, it makes for better storytelling that some got away, and it makes more sense. Like,
I'm pretty sure she's
no way they could have wiped them all out at once.
Yeah. Or some of them are cutting themselves off from the Force. Like,
right.
Well,
there's way more Force.
I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy the growing slapstickness of the concept that, like, not only are there all these people who survived Order 66, but like every single one of them has individually broken into the goddamn Fortress Inquisitorius at one time or another.
Yeah. Well,
so it's like the leakiest secure building in the whole galaxy. Like, man, we really gotta like
they don't have shields
down there. Like, we got 5 Jedi a week coming up that thing, killing some stormtroopers, and then off they go.
Well, they don't have shields, Kyle.
Well, that's because they have Imperial arrogance,
Yeah, exactly.
With their really well pressed uniforms instead.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that was the cool thing about I forget what we got to actually
see
the uniforms getting cleaned. What movie was that? Was that Last Jedi? Where we got to see the uniforms getting cleaned and pressed.
That was Last Jedi with the
Last
giant
Jedi,
iron coming down. That was hilarious.
It's an awesome scene.
That's what we need. We need more Imperial laundry,
of course,
laundry expansion.
Yeah,
give us that concept.
Just the Imperial how-to.
So,
show us the grunt workers, man.
A little prediction, if I may.
Yeah, let's put this out here.
I have a feeling that he's going to fight Vader with Anakin's lightsaber. Something's going to happen with his lightsaber, and he's going to have Anakin's, and he's going to use it against him. That's
Wow.
just like I'm just throwing something out there. Just throwing it out there, you know, just like just the
That
shot in
would,
the dark, see what happens.
to try and break into the mind game a little bit.
Maybe.
Try and like.
Well, he's
Like,
on
that
his
could
way
work.
back to Alderaan right now.
It might also just be like poetic, where like something happens with his lightsaber and he ends up fighting.
I can't believe you'd say something so controversial yet so brave. You know, I like that idea though. I like that idea that would. But do you want to piss Vader off?
Yeah.
At the end
Do
of
you
the
want to
day,
increase the source of his? Like, 'cause that's the source of his power. That's the real catch-22 of fighting a Sith, is that you don't want to anger them. You just want to kill them without pissing them off, because they'll get stronger.
I just wonder, you know, whether or not Obi is going to connect fully to the Force and just not be afraid of what he has become. You know, I
think that's key. That's what's stopping him from connecting with Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
As he hasn't connected fully with it. And he needs to fully embrace the light and the dark of what happened.
And he hasn't forgiven himself.
And forgive himself. Exactly.
Right.
You need to be at peace with yourself if you want to try and reach into the living Force and pull out like someone's consciousness.
Right. He's lost his faith in the Force. Like he's lost his faith in the Force and
he's lost his faith in everything. Like
every time he's so broken.
Yeah. Every time that a Jedi teaches a Jedi anything, we always hear clear your mind, free your mind is the first thing. And like his mind is so closed and full and like just heavy. No, I think you're right. I think that there's going to be some sort of a cathartic release during his fight that allows him to feel more free.
I hope so.
And everything his next 10 years on Tatooine will be easier than his last 10 years.
Maybe it'll be like a Harry Potter, Voldemort, like Finite Incantatem thing, where like him and Vader's lightsaber hit, and then all of a sudden Qui-Gon pops out of their lightsabers and starts talking to Obi-Wan in this like time slowed down like moment. Come on.
Actually some sort of like a Force Virgins is created by like them coming together. I don't know. I don't know how you can possibly articulate it without it sounding like fan fiction. But like Kenobi and Hayden, like they're like a mini dyad in the Force, you know?
Yeah.
They forged a connection that's so strong by like being like they grew up like they pretty much
grew up brothers. Together.
They were totally brothers.
That was the problem though. He needed a father, not a older brother.
The man 7867. Do you think the third sister is permanently dead, or do you think she's going to turn from the dark side if she survives and joins?
She don't get. No,
I don't think she's not. I wouldn't
dead.
say she's permanently dead. I'd say she's temporarily alive.
She's gonna die tonight.
Yeah. She's on loan for the next 24 hours, but she'll be.
Yeah, I think tonight I'm gonna have to wake up at 3 in the morning. I'm gonna have to wake up at 3 in the morning for this.
You will. You do not want to get the finale spoiled.
I haven't. This is the first season of any Star Wars show that I haven't woken up at 3 in the morning to watch every episode. And this last one, I think, it keeps breaking. My God. Breaking news. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wake up and watch this one because there's no way I'm gonna miss get Kenobi spoiled by walking into that Twitter.
It's also when you watch it at midnight, you know that you're watching it in real time with other fans.
So you keep saying midnight like you're so lucky.
Well, that's true. I need to check my West Coast over here.
Shit.
Just strolling on in. Man, I catch myself complaining.
I wish it came out at midnight. EST. Bro, I'll be watching this in an hour and a half. That would be amazing.
Bro, that's how HBO did Game of Thrones, goddammit. That's how HBO did Game of Thrones. They were like, no, we're gonna do it like midnight each part of the fucking US.
I gotta wake up in 5.5 hours.
Getting heated. You guys are all
out.
Ted, I got your voucher.
Out. What was that?
Who the fuck was that kid?
He was laughing. George Lucas was laughing.
Yeah.
Because the guy said you referred to him as the creator of Mara Jade, and he lost it.
Oh wow!
Like, I'm not the creator of Mara Jade. You get out.
Get out.
But I think I hate to be like that. It's gotta happen or it's going to happen because I haven't seen it. But you can't mention Qui-Gon like he did in the first couple of episodes and see that he's slowly getting his connection back to the Force. To not think that by this last episode, he's not gonna get himself back to that Obi-Wan Kenobi ish that we know, and not finally have that connection with Qui-Gon and maybe Yoda as well.
That's blue.
That's the story they're telling here. They're not really telling the story of the showdown between Vader and Anakin and Obi-Wan. They're telling the story of how he went from where we saw him last to where we're gonna see him in 4.
Exactly.
And I think they're telling the story well.
And people
people have been complaining about the fact that there's not enough Vader action. It's like, well, this isn't really Vader's story.
Maybe the show's not.
This is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we've been getting plenty of Kenobi.
Yeah, I just like Chris said, man. If this Qui-Gon thing doesn't happen, I'm just gonna be hurting because it's just like one of those things that have been building up, and then there's no release, and then you're just like, what's going on?
No, for sure. It's the tragic story of like creating expectations for yourself, and like I'm doing it too. I'm doing it. So, but we're all doing it.
He's talking to Qui-Gon the whole time. You're just like, Kyle, come on. Like,
what are we supposed to do? Have self-restraint? We're not Jedi. Come on, like we're nerds. Yeah. Like, none of us have that.
I know.
I think that would like cut this Darth Vader story short if Vader and Qui-Gon had a conversation.
Well, I don't know, man. Like
you know what? Actually, Qui-Gon could cut through the red tape.
The only thing Anakin could really say is he would just be bitter because Qui-Gon died while Anakin was so young that it's not like he got to start and then I don't know. I think the only thing that Vader could really say is like, it's a shame that you didn't get to teach me, or like, there wasn't really that huge connection between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if Qui-Gon's ghost were to like show up and just be like, Anakin, stop, to Vader, if that really would have like
Qui-Gon would be like, Anakin, no.
But actually,
that's the father figure that he always
in the Brotherhood book, like he thinks of Qui-Gon a lot.
Yeah.
It mentions in the book like a lot that he thinks of him and what things would have been like if both of them think that, like if he was teaching Anakin
weird space
or whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I think he would make an impact on him. I really do. I think it would make him think for a good freaking second, like, oh my God, this is Qui-Gon, like the whole dude that brought me in.
That's
true.
That
was like the one person who could possibly cut through the red tape of Anakin's like rage and pain. And it goes back to what Dave Filoni his comments in the Disney gallery for The Mandalorian, talking about Duel of the Fates and how the Duel of the Fates is the duel of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. It's the two different versions of who's going to raise Anakin. It's the duel of Anakin's fate.
Yeah.
And we're just playing back into what if it had been Qui-Gon,
Yeah.
If Anakin had been raised by this maverick who still had like respect for the sanctity of life and knew when to bend a rule, but also was full of compassion,
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think like I always had this feeling that Qui-Gon would leave the Order.
Oh yeah,
100%. I don't know if
we were doing. He wouldn't have gone full separatist.
No.
He would have done what Dooku said, but
and he would have taken Anakin with him. And I think that because to me, Qui-Gon is the most quintessential, if you want, Jedi. How a Jedi should be, like because he is so much like smack dab in the middle of everything and not rigid,
right?
Either side. That having Anakin with him, who's had life experiences before going into his Force training. Oh man, it would have changed the entire landscape of the story.
Oh yeah, he would have let him. I think he would have let him have that connection with his mother, and he would like teach him how to control those feelings, but still have that connection. I think he would have used that and turned it into something positive for him instead of
now. Here's a question:
constantly trying
same with Padme and the kids too.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If Anakin had been raised by Qui-Gon, and he allowed him to have contact with his mother, and he allowed him to control his impulses,
right?
Would there be a Padme, Luke, and Leia?
No, I don't think so. That's
or would he stay within the confines of the Jedi because he found a way to live within it? Because Obi-Wan was just black and white. No, control your urges. But Qui-Gon would have been like, let's learn how to learn what our relationship with that is, and how to make our peace with it. And that,
I think he
that
still
was
would
never
have had a
Anakin's.
crush.
That was never Obi-Wan's
approach. I think he still would have. I think he still would have been like, "You're the girl I met on Tatooine," like, because he was that way in Attack of the Clones with Obi. He's like, "I haven't seen her in 10 years, Master."
That's true.
Like, oh my God.
I mean, you're right. Like, because he still would have met her on Tatooine with Qui-Gon and Obi.
Yeah.
So like he didn't see her ever since all of that stuff happened. So if Qui-Gon stayed alive and they defeated Maul together, yeah, I think he would still obtain those feelings. He just would have been different. I think like we were saying, he would teach Anakin to control those impulses.
Less intense, yeah.
I don't think he would have been
yeah.
having the nightmares
Qui-Gon had a
because he
girlfriend.
wouldn't cut it. Yeah.
I
She
would
got
love that
killed.
too.
She got killed, but again, this is Dark Horse shit. So it's like, you know, make these stories canon, because that was part of Qui-Gon's issue also. Is like he was in love with
Black
his Jedi
Black
friend.
Chrysanthemum could show up and earn his scar, because we know that he gets his scar from Obi-Wan Kenobi. It happens during Marvel Comics, and it happens around the same time period. So that could be a sick cameo if they wanted to work that in.
He shows
Boba
up with
Fett's-
Reva and they duke it.
Boba Fett would be more complicated, because Boba Fett is definitely someone who would, if he runs into Kenobi, he's going to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm
And then
selling
Vader
that."
would know. Vader would know. Vader would know about Tatooine.
Pre episode 4 Boba, he's going to immediately sell that location off. So I don't think Boba could happen, but Black K, I would love it. I would love to see it, honestly.
Didn't she put a hit on Kenobi, Reva, or something like that in the one episode?
On Dayu.
Yeah, just on that planet. Yeah.
I mean, like, it could make sense to where like he might have been late to the game and got like some sort of hit that someone was looking for Kenobi and
I
just
feel like
show up.
I feel like that was like a local bolo. Like,
probably
just
was.
people from Dayu were all responding to that. I don't think that it was like an international bounty, like ships showing up to the planet to look for him and stuff.
I just want to try to make sense on how Black K could show up when it's like the Inquisitors, you know, like Invader. Like, what is?
Well, I mean, it would have to go like straight from the comic, I think. You know,
what up, Ronan? Will Satine be mentioned in the finale? I'm thinking either Satine or Padme, but someone's girl's getting name dropped in this.
Leia's got to learn. Leia's got to learn. It's got to be some way that she learns about her mother through Obi-Wan in some way. So it makes sense for that line in Return of the Jedi.
Now, my question is it going to be a name drop, or are we going to see them?
Yeah, if we got a stellar flashback with Padme.
Man,
dude, so I didn't realize
Natalie's working with Disney right now. I could have been like, hey, while you've been doing Thor, can you pop in for a couple of these? And they could have easily snuck that under the rug while they're doing Thor stuff.
No,
dude,
absolutely.
I didn't realize that in Attack of the Clones that there was a deleted scene of them meeting Padme's parents. I was like, bro, that would have been fucking sick.
I would crap my. I would
the berries.
So dinner. So the weird little forced dinner where Anakin like moves the pear or whatever, and she like does the cutting. Apparently, that was supposed to be with like Padme's parents.
If Obi-Wan saw that, he'd be very grumpy. By the way,
yeah, he would be very grumpy.
But yeah, dude, if Quinlan did show up though, because I'm like looking at some of these comments, this would be the perfect time and the perfect transition for them to go from the Filoni like action hero Quinlan into the Dark Horse fucking badass shadow. Make
it happen.
Jedi
Make
Quinlan.
it happen.
Yeah.
What would your reactions be if we saw Qui-Gon's Force Ghost in Episode 6? I think it would be something like this.
Cut.
Exactly.
Cut.
No one does a reaction like General Maydean.
And then fix the hair.
Fix the hair. Yeah, I would cry. I would cry.
Post credits.
We know for a fact.
Cal more than Maul, probability wise.
We know for a fact that Liam wants to come back. Like he wants to reprise the role as Qui-Gon. It would be as simple as a little hey.
Is there any Star Wars actor who doesn't want to come back besides Harrison Ford?
Jake Lloyd.
Well, okay. No, that's not even funny. That's very valid actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Well said.
But
like
I remember he's
most of the characters that are getting teased, they're like, what if so and so came back? It's like I'm sure that they would be jumping at the chance to, especially because Disney Plus is the big money now. You know,
It wasn't it just some kind of. Was there some kind of rumor about Cal getting his own D Plus show?
I saw that just like an hour before the podcast went up. Yeah, Cameron Monaghan is apparently in talks to have a solo show about Cal Kestis.
Do it.
Which
is that Riva's show also been like greenlit? Is that
like
a real
rumor?
I don't think that was ever founded or confirmed.
Okay, yeah, I just remember. I remember seeing it all over the place. I was like, don't know. No one else.
I think we'll have a pretty good idea of whether that's happening or not after the end of the finale.
If we get
definitely.
I'd be stoked for live action Baron though.
There was also rumor that Millie Bobby Brown was signing like a secret deal for like 112 million pounds.
Do it,
dude. They could. Why not do a show on the Inquisitors?
Easy to make her a Jedi. She'd have to do something else.
Why not do a show on the Inquisitors?
Bro, she'd be a great Leia.
I've been pitching this for years, and it goes really well with that idea, Dan. It's like a palace intrigue show set on Imperial Center. That's like Operation Valkyrie meets like just like Game of Thrones, where it's just a bunch of like slimy Imperials stabbing each other in the back and all vying for like they're all Grand Moffs and they're all trying to get closer and closer to Vader, and they keep like stabbing each other and blowing up each other's speeders and stuff. And you could have like the Inquisitorius program be like a whole part of that, and like they're vying for Grand Inquisitor at the same time and making these like Dark Horse Comics had a series called Star Wars Empire. And one of the arcs in that, this guy called Moff Tracta got together, like basically it was a recreation of the Operation Valkyrie story from World War II, where a bunch of Nazis banded together and tried to blow up Hitler because they thought he was crazy and he was gonna, not because they thought he was like morally wrong, like they were all still Nazi shitheads, but they thought he was gonna lose them the war, and they were like, he's mishandling this military. It was basically a coup. And so these Moffs try to pull a military coup on Palpatine and Vader because they see them as this weird mystical religion that only has 2 members and they have complete executive power. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
So they mentally condition an entire like platoon of stormtroopers to only respond to their commands, and then they march on the Imperial capital, and there's like just a stormtrooper on stormtrooper firefight. Nobody gets hit. It's just like it's an awesome like palace intrigue, backstabbing. Like there are no good characters. Everyone's an asshole. Yeah, I would love a show like that, and I feel like
that's
an Inquisitor program story would fit right into there.
Yeah. And I know that the from like reading like the not the art book, like the guidebook for Rise of Skywalker. That's what the Sith Eternal is like.
That'd be good.
The Sith Eternal is like that, where everyone's just like backstabbing one another to get to the top.
Right.
So,
exactly.
I would love to see those stories for sure. In either era.
They also did that great comic story where like they insinuated that Palpatine was trying to replace Vader, and then Vader's like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna kill all the replacements."
Oh, and
yeah. In the new
he did.
Fuck with me.
The Vader Dark Lords of the Sith in 2016. It was the Giuseppe Camuncoli and Charles Soule line did a really good job of establishing in the new canon that when Vader first showed up on the scene, like 5 minutes after Revenge of the Sith, no one knew who he was.
Yeah.
Like the first couple Imperials that he went up to were like, "Who the fuck are you? Nice cape, douchebag." Yeah. Like, I'm not taking your orders. And then just like, he kills a couple people about it. Now
and they were never seen again.
Yeah. I remember when dudes found out that he was Anakin and they were gone.
And they were like, about earlier. Nope.
Bye.
Killed. What about Master Windu? I think you just answered your own question.
He's dead.
He went right out the window.
He did.
Well, all we saw happen is he got electrocuted and he got his hand cut off and he got thrown out the window, but he never got stabbed through the gut with a lightsaber.
So yeah.
If you get stabbed through a gut with a lightsaber, your chances actually increase of surviving.
We didn't see him splat on the endless bottom of the Coruscant.
He's still falling.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. If he splatted, he's probably dead.
But
if someone was holding up a lightsaber and he landed gut first on it, he's got a pretty good shot. Like 60-40, he could pull through.
Especially if he
what we now know about gut wounds.
Let that man rest.
From the car, he's fine.
Yeah, lightsaber gut wounds are
goes back to what I'm saying about
tricky.
An actor jumping at the chance to make some more Star Wars money. I bet you if they wanted to bring back Mace Windu, like Samuel L. Jackson wouldn't stand in the way of it. He'd be like on board.
Even if it was a backstory of just like, how he created his purple saber. Granted, they would have to retcon again the way crystals work, but like I would totally dig to see canonized like Mace Windu backstory, because like, dude, like he's chaotic good when it comes to the Jedi code. So like, like there's a lot of shit to Mace Windu's story also, and like his
That's
master
true.
and how Windu almost went bad because he didn't think the Jedi were following the code well enough. Like this Templar level shit. So like,
one of the survivor names on the path wall was one of Windu's former Padawans. Wasn't Windu, but
I forget who, because he had one Padawan who turned bad, and then he had another one. It's been so long, I don't remember who his Padawans were.
Depa Balaba was one.
that's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
safe bet.
girl on a speed.
We will definitely get some kind of like slimy backstabbing in this show. I saw in the trailer that Qyburn from Game of Thrones is like an Imperial scientist, like Tarkin Initiative. He's perfect casting.
Dude,
I love that guy. He does such a good job in those roles.
The fact that we get Qyburn, speaking of Game of Thrones, the fact that fucking Qyburn is Imperial officer in this fucking show, like
damn man, he's like
Andor,
perfect.
not in Obi-Wan, but like the fact that
Andor, he's perfect casting for that.
Yeah, I'm so pumped for Andor. It's unreal.
Yeah,
I tend to agree with you, Dr. Sith. I don't think he's coming back, but that's not to say we're never going to get more Mace Windu content.
Absolutely.
Also,
Samuel L. Jackson could come back and play him in a flashback. I just don't think that after 19 BBY, we're ever going to see this guy.
My favorite Mace Windu scene ever was in Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, where he just destroys the whole.
The ground pounder fight.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I got this hard to watch that shit.
It was that is some of the most fun stuff to watch in Star Wars.
Force punching fucking super battle droids using wing tongue.
He took all the bolts out of one, and then just tore up others with it.
Like, and that scene was where I was like, Order 66. That scene, and I love it, but it made me go, Order 66. How does that even happen? If he can do that, how does Order 66 happen?
The novelization did a much better job with that fight than the movie. Explaining that Palpatine just moves faster than the human eye can even register. And like, but by the time you've raised your guard up, he's already stabbed you like 3 fucking times. That was kind of what they were trying to convey. And then I don't feel like that was executed really in the choreography.
Yeah, they could do it.
You just heard him do some like weird death. He's like, and then does this little twirl, and all of a sudden you see 2 guys on the floor, and you're like, "What's happening?"
How are you supposed to be prepared for an old ass man to just like roar and do a 720 from a seated position?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not prepared for that. I don't think I'll ever be prepared to counter
Rivals
that
Tony Hawk. He was just like parkour. It's awesome.
Like my dad's getting to be about that age. If I went down to my dad's study and was like, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing?" He just went and just like twirl at me. Like, there's no way. I'm telling you right now, there's no way I'm deflecting it. Like,
what are you possessed?
He's gonna get me.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
Oh man.
That's why Kit Fister was immediately just impaled. He was just like, "Oh!"
Stunning as hell.
What do you do?
Kit Fisto, he's just like lasted for a half second. Like,
Kit Fisto, he doesn't even get taken out like quick. He's like about it.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, what did he just
do? On rubber mode. Oh.
Oh. The worst. I was so disappointed.
After he kicked so much ass, it's like
Mace Windu.
The man's you're talking about Terra Sinube, and yes, that is confirmed. Yeah, I feel like Terra Sinube is the one that they were banking on everybody recognizing.
Yeah.
There were a few more recognizable ones in there as well, like Sefjet Josel, Coleman Kasaj. There was a Temple Guard in there. Homeboy from Bad Batch season 2 that we haven't met yet.
Oh, that is ooh.
But other than that, we don't. Like the other ones are deliberately people that we don't know yet.
Oh, Kyle!
And nothing is by accident. I assure you that none of those people were throwaway characters. Like, just because no information for them exists, like I'm sure it's going to retroactively be like imbued with significance later on. Oh yes,
that fucking face.
Did you get one
last time? Last time we had Scotty and Jerry on from the Bombad cast, and we all pulled out our Jar Jars.
Oh, I was so jealous. I didn't get the. I wish I could have pulled out my Jar Jar, man.
Yeah, I guess we haven't actually mentioned it for those of you. The 4 of us got to hang out at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim just a few weeks ago. It was pretty cool. It was awesome to meet you.
In front of a life-size TIE fighter, bro. In front of a life-size fucking TIE fighter.
I know.
It was appropriate as hell. It was the most appropriate possible way.
Yeah, if you guys want to see, I'm gonna throw a plug. If you guys want to see it, we had them on our Broby John Kenobi show, talking about their favorite moments of the world premiere.
Episode 1 of
I will drop a link to that in the description of this video if you're watching via YouTube, so you'll be able to click right to that interview.
A bunch of live people from Celebration telling us all about Kenobi. It was a really good time.
Yeah.
I remember having a hard time speaking because I just had so many Celebration thoughts and I had to like shove them out of the way to like access my Kenobi thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I was like in the middle of my first celebration and just so overwhelmed.
There was so much
It
going on.
was so overwhelming. Like you don't get that kind of stuff at Celebration. You don't get like new Star Wars content at Celebration, like full episodes of content. You get teases to content that's coming out in the future. So like everyone is trying to digest all of these first 2 episodes the first night of Celebration.
Just too much.
And we still have 4 more days to go. And we're like, what the heck is happening here?
And nobody and everybody has to like not talk about it just in case. Like the person who hasn't seen shit. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was our Friday because we didn't react to Kenobi when it came out. We had to wait a full 24 hours till Bendu and I were in the same spot because he was still arriving in Anaheim. So we had to navigate an entire day of being at Star Wars Celebration. We were the only 2 there that hadn't seen Kenobi yet. We had to like
no, dude, there was a lot.
It ended up being pretty easy because it turns out there was several people that hadn't seen it yet, but like I was still very nervous the whole time.
Yeah, dude, like I didn't realize that we had seen one of the Lola puppets like at one of the artist boxes or like artist spots because we had no idea who the fuck Lola was. But like, yeah, no, they were totally like showing off a little animated toy, Lola robot thing.
I got the Frog Lady plushie. It's in the other room, or I'd bust her out. But yeah, I got one.
I chose Lula instead.
I got Frog Lady, Chrysanthemum, and then I got Jar Jar from Galaxy's Edge the next day.
Yeah, I was like, I was Chrysanthemum. And this 20th anniversary.
It would be cool. It's not going to happen. Taika went out and said that like no one is going to be related to anybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's not going to be any legacy characters in his, and I'm actually really excited for that. Like
me too. Fresh.
It's a
Star
fresh,
Wars.
Exactly. And that's what it's time for that. Like, we've really retreaded the Skywalker saga from every goddamn angle.
Well, that's why I think Mandalorian season 1 hit so hard. Like
absolutely.
It was super fresh. Nobody had any expectations for how it was going to turn out. So like they couldn't make any judgments. And then the second season came out and people already wanted to do stuff.
I mean, it was, I don't know. It took some time before you could step back from the actual like experience of seeing Luke Skywalker again. But like thinking back, like objectively outside of it, thinking of the Mandalorian, like it's almost disappointing that they had to bring Luke in. It doesn't ruin the story. If anything, it elevates it and makes it part of the larger fabric of Star Wars. But I was really enjoying the fact that this was a story about like all of the action figures that are on the shelf because the popular ones got taken. You're playing with an IG-88 and a Bosk and a fucking recolored Boba Fett that you put some Sharpie on.
Yeah.
Like I was like, well, Luke is here. We're about to do some epic stuff, but I'm gonna miss this being a story about characters no one gives a shit about. Well,
I mean,
that was kind of the charm that Firefly had too. These are Joss Whedon said something like this. These are the characters that the Enterprise would have just flown right by and not paid them any mind because they're insignificant. And like, there's something fresh about that insignificance when everything we see, like the fate of the universe hangs in the balance of like everything that happens in all of like the saga films. It's nice to just be on like one planet for a whole damn season. Like Star Wars, first season of Star Wars Rebels, we barely left Lothal.
Yeah.
And there was something really refreshing and comforting about that. Even though we were talking like Jedis, Darth Vader showed up, like there were heavy hitters, but it still was like more contemplative.
Mm-hmm.
Less breakneck speed.
Yeah, I love Rebels, and that first season was amazing.
And the rest of Rebels is great, but like again, it lost that sense of small scale about halfway through.
Let's go to those singing waters of the minds of whatever the fuck. Let's fucking go. We gotta reclaim Din Djarin's honor. So like,
the Mines of Mandalore, right?
Yeah, let's fucking go, man. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
But we got a kind of before we got Luke, like they did a similar thing with giving us Ahsoka and giving us Bo-Katan and like, you know, kind of dropping these other characters. But like, yeah, dude, like fucking Moff Gideon, like such a badass.
That happened in my city, and I worked at a different Toys R Us at the time, so I heard about that shit like immediately.
He felt the force. He had the force flowing through him.
He literally was.
And probably a bunch of methamphetamines.
Yeah, they fired like a taser at him, and he was able to just like deflect the prongs with like little fold out lightsabers. He was just a drunk guy because the mall had a Toys R Us on the bottom, the parking lot, and then it had a Red Robin restaurant up on the top floor, and like they make their drinks stiff. I can say that firsthand. And so this dude like was up there, and he like came down they had like an elevator that just connects literally the restaurant to the Toys R Us. It's a bizarre building.
How convenient.
Right? Get drunk, go buy some action figures. You're good to go. But like, yeah, he went down there and he caused a disturbance, and then the cops came to pick him up, and he just like he was in the only aisle worth being in, the Star Wars aisle. Grabbed the lightsaber, and used the Force, man.
Yeah.
And that man's name was Albert Einstein.
What a great story.
Yeah, I wonder where that guy's at now.
Yeah,
probably look at the news story because he's
probably at the Red Robin right now drinking.
No, because they just overpriced and don't give you shit now. They just.
I haven't been to Red Robin in ages.
That particular Red Robin. Yeah,
I have them out here actually.
I used to like the bonsai burger.
I was at one like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, that's a thing. People are all about pineapple on their pizza. I could take it or leave it. I put pineapple on a burger.
Pineapple on my pizza. I love it.
Pineapple on a burger with some teriyaki sauce. Now you're talking.
Some ham. Yeah, I'm all right with that. I could do that. Ham, burger, pineapple, little teriyaki sauce. Actually, sounds
dude abides. There are worse ways to live your life, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are better ways to contribute to society, but there are worse ways to live your life. I think there's a nice little middle ground in there where we can happily exist, right?
So, do we have a runtime for this episode?
Well, theoretically, when they announced that you could watch all the episodes in the movie theater, they were saying that it was like 5 hours and 30 minutes long collectively. So, if we were to add up all the episodes that we have so far, this next episode should be about 45 to maybe 50.
I'm hearing 60 minutes. I've heard 45 minutes. I've heard an hour and a half from a crazy
our last
person.
one was only 40.
So I've heard a lot of different things.
Every time I hear someone say it's going to be like that long, I'm like,
you heard that too.
It's going to be like 45 minutes.
Yeah, as evidenced by the chat here.
17. It's a fucking Galaxies of Adventures episode, is what.
Yeah,
you're gonna go previously on Kenobi and then play the entire previous episode and then give us
sucker
epilogue.
You stayed up till 3 a.m. for this? Ha!
I've got an hour in my hope as well. I'm expecting 50 something minutes.
Yeah, all right.
I think between
when was the last time they gave us something that was an hour? Like it had to have been Mando.
Easy stuff. All right.
Season 1 Mando or a season 2
exactly.
Mando.
Exactly. Richard J's got it. Hour and a half has a 30-minute Q&A at the end. My question is the Q&A going to be involved like when you press play on Disney Plus? Is the episode going to end and then credits and then a Q&A immediately, or is it a separate that's episode on
the
there?
Movie theater version. Yeah, the Q&A will probably just be at the movie theater version when you like binge the whole thing.
That makes so much more sense. Okay. Wow,
they wouldn't show the Q&A tonight to Disney Plus people. That's
totally Hawaiian burger. That's what I'm saying. Hawaiian burger every time. It's so good.
Hey, Roke. So Michael.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was an hour and a half. Like, there's your movie, guys. There's your movie that you were asking for.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just want to edit all 6 episodes together and watch that.
Sort of a Clone Wars flashback last episode, even like, yeah, sure, whatever. They weren't in like their full Clone Wars armor, but like the fact that we still got an Attack of the Clones era flashback of the two of them is still, a fucking golden egg.
If it was an hour and a half, I would be so happy.
Because we still got to get Leia back to Alderaan. We have to figure out how to get Obi-Wan back to Tatooine without anybody fucking suspecting Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
what if Leia's transport just blows up, and like she just uses the Force to fly through space back down to Alderaan?
Oh, perfect.
Just Iron Man that shit.
And some kid watches her land and is like, "Whoa!" And then
she actually rides.
And it ends.
She actually rides a drop bomb onto Alderaan.
That's fair.
Because they fall in space.
But she lands too hard and Alderaan is destroyed. And then Tarkin's like, "That gives me an idea."
Mm-hmm.
Directed by George Lucas.
Yeah, man.
Hello there. Oh, there's a Vancouver. That's right. There is a Vancouver in Canada as well. There's a Vancouver in Washington, and they're like across the border from each other. It's very confusing when you're trying to tell out-of-towners how to get places.
Dude, speaking of the Organas, I totally forgot that Bail Organa was in like a fucking at least 2 seasons of Dexter, and was also a serial killer. Like,
yeah, he's awesome.
Like, oh my god!
I also enjoy him in one of
Dexter,
my trashy guilty pleasure shows, Sons of Anarchy. He's excellent in that as well.
Who the fuck was he in Sons of Anarchy?
Smits. Oh, he's great in that. Oh
he's
my
Manny,
god,
man.
Yeah,
he's like the best.
Smits is great in Dexter. I love him.
Like, and if you, I don't know, if you're out for like the old school procedurals, he's also in NYPD Blue.
Yep.
Way back in the day, being a youngin.
Dude, he's that man is tall.
Jimmy Smits is great, and like that's the real reason why Obi-Wan couldn't say no to Bail Organa. Is not because of what he says, because it's Jimmy Smits, man. You can't say no to Jimmy Smits.
Dude, he showed up. He found him just fucking Liam Neeson Taken style. He's like, I'm gonna find your fucking hut, and I'm gonna show up and be like, bitch, find my daughter.
I saw people wondering about that. People were like, how was he able to find him so easy? It's like the communicator. He has the frequency from the communicator, and he's the only one with it. So like, it's very, very easy for him to find that guy.
It's so
must contact me.
And they mentioned that in the novel. No, they paid so much attention to the novel. It's like everything that I've been listening to.
I wouldn't be surprised if John Jackson Miller was consulted, and if he knows things we don't know.
Had to. I mean, like literally,
right?
He
like,
talks. There's so much.
Yeah.
Besides
I was talking to Michael
Stackpole.
I was talking to Michael Stackpole, the author of the X-Wing novels, about the whole Corran Horn thing.
Oh.
And I don't know. I'd say he underreacted. Like he already knew way more than I knew, and I'm pretty sure that they're like. And this is a prediction for me. This is not something that I know for fact, but I believe he was consulted about certain details that have yet to be revealed. I think there's a whole lot of Stackpole characters coming back into canon. We already have the evidence of some of it, but just based on the fact that like how my conversation with him went, I think that he knew more about what's coming. Like he's not just watching this as an audience member. He is, but you know, I think he got a phone call or two.
Well, I mean, we kind of said that about
pretty much. He's all like, oh,
we said that about.
Oh, really? Oh, like
or just inquisitorious. Like we asked, or like, yeah, we were curious on how much Filoni may have been involved, or like how much of like the Jedi Fallen Order people could have been involved. Like, hey, you created this story. We want to make an episode here. What can you tell us? Sort of thing.
One thing I'm impressed with Star Wars, what they're doing these days is the way that they're reading between established lines and just pulling stories out of it. Like the way Rogue One came from a single line in the story crawl of A New Hope, you know?
Yep.
Truly. God, Rogue One is so fucking good, man.
Yeah, and it's one of the best movies. And it was inspired by a single sentence of exposition to set up a different movie. So usually you're like, wow, these big windows of time, what crazy stories, like 30 years between 6 and 7. It's like, nah, man, it's all about the 5 minutes between this and this. That's where like the compelling story is going to happen, because the window to tell it is so tight, and we have so many pre-established events, and we know so intimately everything that's going to happen in episode 4. We know what Kenobi's in for, like beat for beat. We can watch it in our heads, most of us. So like the stakes are so much higher. How are we going to get to this pre-established starting point? You know, Alec Guinness making weird Tuscan sounds in the desert to scare off the sand people.
That needs to be its own story too. I want to
That
like
was just a crazy old man. Like, I'm not getting crazy old man from
No,
Ben.
give us
yet.
more
I'm
great
getting sad clown in a cave from
Right.
Ben right now. Like,
and
he's
this is
very
why
sad.
I hope that there is a second season or a second series for Obi-Wan, and not like any kind of cliffhanger on this one. Let this next 9 years like be their own thing, or you can do like a couple of seasons within that 9 years. You know, there's so much they could do.
That makes a lot of sense. That's a really good theory. We know that Rogue Squadron was pretty well into production before things got moved around.
Mhm.
It's still happening. Patty Jenkins is still working on it. It's not like Rangers of the New Republic, but I'd believe that that's what he was consulted on. And if that was the case, they were like, yeah, we're going to introduce one of these characters in Kenobi for you, so that by the time of the sequels era, they're established. You know, very possible.
Yeah.
Very possible. I saw a comment in here. I feel like I'm the only one who liked the music. I like the music in Kenobi.
I like it.
It's great.
I think it's establishing a very different tone.
Yes.
And the only reason why you wouldn't like it is if you really, really, really wanted Duel of the Fates and you were disappointed that it wasn't Duel of the Fates.
Mhm.
But if you get over that, which I do understand, like the music is painting a very different kind of picture, and it's one that I think fits the story.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a
That
lot
may
of
just
dread.
that may just be something that people need to get used to. It's new. It's still new to us, and everything with
Totally.
Star Wars is so ingrained in us. You got to give it a minute to marinate.
Mhm.
I remember the first time I heard the Mandalorian theme, and I was like, "What the hell is that noise?" And now, it's like the most Star Warsy noise you can
Yep.
think of.
Yeah.
Same with the Book
I
of
feel
Boba
that way
Fett
about
theme.
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I was like, this
So-
sounds like a bunch of
it's so
dwarves
dumb.
marching to work.
Yeah.
And now I totally hear it. I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
totally Star Wars.
Totally Star Wars.
Is it
Totally.
though?
But the music is just dripping with like suspense and unease and
Mhm.
like just dread and impending doom. And that's what this story really is building through. Is that like Obi-Wan, like Anakin's the one that crawled out of the lava, but Obi-Wan's the one that crawled out of the relationship with his best friend.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like he suffered just as much damage, only all of his was emotional.
Yeah.
And he's been and this is the story of him healing those wounds, you know.
Mhm.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Who could she be? I guess she could be anyone, right?
Yeah.
What,
I mean,
what planet did they live on? Oh, what planet were they from?
Would
Would
Rose
her
be
last name
born
even
yet?
be, would her last name be Tico? If she be married yet?
No, because Rose is a
Mhm.
sequel character. So
It's
why
like
would
30 years into the
that timeline doesn't add up.
yeah. Maybe she's like
That's
young.
the bomber Rose, right? Like, or is there another?
Yeah,
Rose?
yeah.
Rose and Paige
her
they
mother.
grew up on Phase Minor. Phase Minor is the name of the planet that they grew up on.
If anything, Rose
Sorry,
is
Haze Minor.
child.
It's in the Outer Rim. It's in the Atomoc system.
So maybe that's something we could see in comics or something like that. I mean, there's so many routes they can go to tell these stories. That's why I'm hoping Reva's story, if they're not going to do a D+ show or anything like that, if she dies at the end of this, you can at least tell her backstory. We can see how she was found in the gutter, what she did after she escaped the temple. I'd love like Charles Soule or DJ Older or someone to take that and make a dope comic out of that.
It could be.
That would be
Acolyte.
amazing.
We still don't know shit about Acolyte. Like, totally could be Reva.
Honestly, give that writing assignment to someone like Justina Ireland.
Yeah.
I think she would kill it.
Yeah,
I think she would kill
she'd
it
knock it out for sure.
for several reasons. No, yeah, that would be excellent. But either way, that's a story that needs to be told.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone out there that is sleeping on the Marvel Star Wars comics, I'm telling you,
You don't know
there's
what you're missing.
much. Seriously,
That's
so
funny.
much good stuff. That's one of the things, actually, that I really dig about Broaxium, about your guys' channel. You're always coming with the comic drops, giving little previews what to expect.
Like
more people need to read the comics. They're so good.
So people who like, you know, and I'm not hating on people, but they do only the animation or the live action, and that's it. And they don't do the books, they don't do the comics. And I'm like, you're missing so many amazing Star Wars stories. Like right now, tomorrow, the last issue of Charles Soule's second act of his trilogy drops for Crimson Reign, dealing with Crimson Dawn and Kira and all that. These are some amazing. You guys are missing so much good stuff. You got to read these comics.
Yeah, tune in tomorrow morning on my channel. I do Comics with Katarn every Wednesday about noon. We'll be doing Crimson Reign #5 and Obi-Wan #2.
I think that's the only thing that comes out.
Just Crimson Reign number 5.
Crimson Reign. Yeah, Obi-Wan 2, I think, is next week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm also planning to read the there's an Avatar: The Last Airbender comic that talks about Zuko searching for his mother.
Oh, it's a book. It's not just
I just finished the series, by the way. So I'm about to read that and then react to the Netflix live action movie, which everyone is telling me is excellent. It truly is the
is it out?
conclusion
No,
of the...
he means Shyamalan. He's getting
I'm talking about the M. Night Shyamalan one. It's
You said Netflix though.
Yes, it's well the new one's Netflix too. The live action adaptation is being made by Netflix. It's in
But the
production right
Shyamalan
now.
movie wasn't.
Whoa.
The
Shyamalan movie's on Netflix, but it wasn't made.
Yeah.
Oh, you're watching.
We do, Kyle. I'm cooking up something for the fall that I'm going to ask you guys if you want to get involved in. We're going to be doing a thing. I'll talk to you about it after the show.
Sure. Yeah. No, you have my attention.
Kind of rounding up everybody who might be interested, but it's gonna be fun.
It was so good. It really was a thrill ride, honestly. My only regret for the Avatar is that I didn't start it years ago, that I didn't watch it when it was airing.
Airbender for life, man. Where am
I? Nice.
Airbender for life. There.
I love it. That is so cool.
Yeah. No, it was excellent. And then the movie
Korra was
and then Legend of Korra.
Korra was a slow burn, but goddamn, when you start getting into Korra though,
I've heard mixed things about Korra.
I was hooked from minute one with that one, bro. I was hooked from minute one.
I don't want to jump in with too many other people's
She annoyed
biases.
the shit out of me, but I think she was supposed to annoy the shit out of you.
Oh, at first, absolutely, absolutely.
But Zahir, though, dude, the fucking red bones, bro. The fucking
so
red
good,
bones, bro.
I'd be a firebender. I can't help it.
Iroh's my man.
The way that they modernize that world with air, with the bending and everything. Oh, dude.
Bro, yeah, dude, having the lightning benders charge plants, like fucking brilliant.
Now I gotta watch it again. Shit.
That's what I'm saying. Is I've heard mixed things about Korra as a show, but I'm so in love with the concept and the setting and the environment and the world that I feel like I have to now.
You gotta.
Yeah, I have to watch Korra now.
Wait, so you guys are saying it's modernized?
Yeah, because it's 75 years after.
Oh, I didn't know that. That that makes me more excited for it.
It's like the 40s because Republic City is on the outskirts.
So it's basically like soft steampunk Avatar.
Yes.
Wow.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. I get that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely awesome. I think I would be a firebender if I was a bender. Because as much as I like to think that I'm chill and zen, I'm just too much of a hothead, and I have a red beard, so it works.
I think I'd totally be Earth.
Yeah,
like if it were
I'm too claustrophobic.
If you were just born to a certain nation, like I think I would be born in the Earth bending nation.
Yeah, that's more accurate. I would be born in the Fire Nation, but I wouldn't be able to do shit.
You're just like the one guy who can't.
I'd be a normie in fucking Ozai's temple, sweeping the floor.
Muggle, fucking sword master,
a janitor muggle. I'm Filch. Yeah, exactly. God,
just squib
or you would be Boomy.
Or
you'd be fucking King Boomy.
I'm too claustrophobic to be an earthbender, man. Like
Boomy
can't
doesn't
do
go
it.
Underground. Toph is the only person who goes.
The idea of being underground in a really tight space makes me sweat. I don't like it.
It's fair.
I'd rather be a waterbender. I got no problem with being in water.
Bloodbending.
I'm not scared of drowning. I'm scared of suffocating.
Bro, Hama, the Halloween episode with Hama, the bloodbender, dude.
Fucking Ko, the face stealer, coming back out of nowhere.
That bloodbending,
nowhere.
Terrifying spirit centipede thing.
That bloodbending shit was out of control.
Yeah, it reminds me of. They did a little bit of that, like the way the body contorts. They did that if you're watching Stranger Things right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
man,
sick.
Yeah, I screamed out loud. Actually, I was so not expecting it to. Like, I thought that was going to happen, but they were going to cut away.
Yeah,
they're like, no, you're going to see it all. Yeah,
I was like, I could tell something grisly was going to happen, but I thought it would all be implied, and then they just gave us the money shot. It was like
they just full heredity you. Oh man. Okay. Interesting.
Going back to what you said briefly, Dan. Uncle Iroh, best character in all of Avatar. Completely agree.
Yeah, he's the man. He's got so much wisdom, and he's just got a big heart, and he's such a good dude. He's just a great guy. He's trying so hard to help his nephew be a good person.
in the midst of like all of the epic, crazy conclusions of the finale, I think the emotional climax, at least for me, was Zuko and Iroh reuniting. Like that was
Oh, while he was in prison.
no, when he found him again with the White Lotus people in the finale.
Oh, of season 3.
Yeah, the finale of the series. Yeah, that was easily that like I shed a tear the hardest for that moment. Definitely, everyone needs someone like Uncle Iroh in their lives, for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
And Anakin needed one.
Yeah.
Never had it.
Qui-Gon would have been his Iroh.
Yeah.
Learn the ways of tea and failure. Man. So we've got one episode of Kenobi left. We don't really know how long it's going to be, but it's a safe guess that it's not going to be shorter than about 45 minutes and not as long as an hour and a half.
Nope.
I'd love that, but I very much doubt that. Because I don't know. I don't want to put too many predictions out there because that kind of puts a constraint on your viewing experience. The one thing that I will say I'm really hopeful for is Qui-Gon. If we get Qui-Gon, I think we're going to get a voice. I don't know if we're going to get the whole enchilada, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Although it's easily doable.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Qui-Gon's on my wish list. Padme is definitely on my wish list.
Yep, me too.
And what if they kicked everybody's ass and we just got like a flash of a live action Satine dying in his arms? Like they cast someone and everything.
Don't do that to me. Why would you want to do
for
that? I don't understand, Kyle, why you would
a little 2-second Siege of Mandalore. Just bloop.
You're a sick man. You're sick.
I am.
Sick individual.
I am sick and I am twisted. And I
put
know
me
what I
through
want.
watching Satine die in Kenobi's arms.
No, that would give us Maul too. That would give us live action Satine and give us live action Maul.
Here you go. What if they cast Nicole Kidman as Satine?
Why was Sam Witwer
digitally de-aged her for like the Moulin Rouge connection for the flashback scene?
Why was Sam Witwer at the premiere?
Because he was a guest at Celebration.
Yeah.
He also was a stormtrooper in episode 3. He was one of the ones that Freck gave a ride to. So he's in Kenobi.
What if he voiced Maul in an episode?
He could. It's possible.
Didn't he voice
It's a conspiracy.
No, if they give us Satine, it's going to be just like straight emotional damage. That's going to be me. That's going to be me right there.
One quick flashback of them during the Clone Wars, armored up with I forgot that young actress who would play Ahsoka, and with like a young Ahsoka, and maybe do a whole deep fake with like a younger version of Rosario Dawson's face, or I forgot, like people done that one meme of like where they took this one actress, I think she was in one of the Spidey flicks, and like have her as Ahsoka, but I forgot what her name was. I think she was in that first Spider-Man movie,
Yeah, no, I think it's
Oh, you mean Peter fucking Vulture's daughter?
Yes.
The love interest? Oh
yes.
Shit.
Here's a cameo that no one's really thinking about. Tarkin.
Bro, give us Tarkin.
Tarkin could come back and it could be a chance for them to like show the new Tarkin. It's not Rogue One
hologram
Rogue One
Palpatine
looking, because
scary Tarkin.
I wonder
if they're gonna go back and digitally
when episode 2
Star Wars. That's their whole thing, is like going back and changing shit they've already done.
They can definitely fix that up.
Yeah,
because in Rogue One, like it was definitely like impressive at the time, but like it has aged not as well as say Mark Hamill in Book of Boba Fett's gonna age.
It definitely looks different in 4K.
Yeah, but they could go back and like redo that the same way Admiral Jeff Blue Jeans is no longer in season 2 of the Siege of Mandalorian. Missed that guy. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, but definitely Bendu. I definitely want to see not definitely, but I would, it'd be dope to see a
shout out to the master.
R.I.P.
What was I going to say? The hologram Palpatine.
It'd be an easy show.
Yes.
I definitely thought about it when episode 2 dropped. I was like, bro, what if they fucking just give us Palpatine?
We could get a direct communication between Vader and Palps. I don't see Palps talking to anyone else unless Tarkin shows up.
It's so much is possible right now with the reach that Lucasfilm still has with their people.
It's like it's the reach they have with their people, and it's the the technological reach they have with the people that aren't around anymore. People like Peter Cushing, who was passed on, yet he was still in Rogue One. Like Mark Hamill, who has aged out of this time period of Luke Skywalker, yet he's still able to play him because of, you know, the deep fake technology, the re-speecher, just James Earl Jones's voice in the episode. You know,
it sounds so much better than it did in Rogue One.
That's because it's been fed through re-speecher. They're using the same computer algorithm that they use for
young factor. Yeah,
exactly, for Mark Hamill.
A little higher.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And the fact that it's not obvious, the fact that it's like hotly debated whether it's him or not, means that they've done their job.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Any technology that's distinguishable from magic is insufficiently advanced. And if you ask me, they're using magic. So they're doing a very, very good job.
It's definitely magic. I would say it's magic.
Yeah, there's a quote from Ryan Johnson talking about George Lucas, and he said that he managed to make a 7-hour-long movie for children while heralding the forefront of every single technological sea change in filmmaking for like decades.
Yeah. Jar Jar Binks was like a game changer for the film industry. Andy Serkis wouldn't be doing what he's doing right now if it wasn't for freaking George Lucas
exactly
and JarJar Binks.
Jar Jar crawled so that Gollum could walk.
Yep, that's the goddamn right.
It's amazing. I still find it amazing also that a lot of the interactive scenes that they had Ewan McGregor do with his AOP, they used a real camel and then just threw a green sheet over the camel and they're like, all right, bring in the puppet head. And
you mean Rue?
Rue?
Yeah.
And not Fred. Hashtag not my Star Wars.
That'd be great. Come here, Fred.
Come here, Fred.
Like, well, there it is.
Yep.
I'd be like, God damn you, Kyle Katarn. How does he have this kind of influence in Lucasfilm?
His name is Elon.
Dude, I mean, they've been doing a lot of random shit. The increase of Gonk droids that have been incorporated in the series, like that can't be a coincidence of all the bringings of Gonks. All of the
they know what the people want.
Yeah,
and more to the point, these shows are being made by the people because like people think that there's some group of like elites that have just like been handpicked to make Star Wars. It's like, no, it's a bunch of people that are just like us that put their time and energy into getting industry proficient, and now they get to do this for a job. But they still grew up reading the same Legends novels we did.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean,
so they're all about the Gonks too. You know,
that's what's amazing about.
I want a time clock Gonk figure. Give me that.
Oh, absolutely.
I want a Gonk power bank.
They put it in the goddamn Disney Plus intro. How are you not going to give us a Black Series at least?
Right.
Like, why can't I plug my USB cord into a little Gonk guy that I could charge up and take with me?
I'm saying.
You know how many people would buy that thing?
I've been waiting for years for that. And also, can I get like an electronic COVID test thing that is shaped like a medical drunk from Battlefront?
Give it a couple weeks. It's going to happen now.
Yeah. Gonk.
Anybody
with a 3D printer out there? 3D print.
Yeah, there was something that like when we were doing the first season of our RPG and we were putting out episodes of Ice Ball Station, like coincidentally there were so many weird fucking things because it was the same time that like the last season of Rebels
Dream Machine.
It was the last time that like the last season of Clone Wars was coming out, and like there were these like just weird little fucking nuances and coincidences of like things that happened in our RPG that Filoni ended up like.
Our game master Lurch, one of his go-to things he would talk about is the Dream Machine that like Pablo Hidalgo is running to steal his thoughts while he's asleep, because every time he implemented something into our game, it would show up a few weeks later in an episode of Mando or Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
like I rolled a Marshall character and then boom, Cobb Vanth out of nowhere.
Kyle, droid herder.
Droid herder working on USB Gonk as we.
Well, watch your career with great interest.
At Stay on Target 42, hit me up. I'll pay money for one if you could make one.
Podcast of the Wiz Khalifa.
I got plenty of room on the shelf back there for another.
Yeah,
Gonk.
that's right.
And
I will
buy
charges
my other Gonks.
Yeah,
forget about it.
Yeah, I will buy a 3D printed Gonk droid from you, sir, if you make one.
Callista. Now, why would you bring up Callista? Luke's old flame from Children of the Jedi by Barbara Hambly.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot about that.
Luke tried to do it with a spaceship. All right,
wow. Spaceship girlfriend.
Yeah, he had a spaceship girlfriend.
Yeah.
When did he try to fuck a ship? I remember trying to fuck a ship.
But people give Lando shit.
Oh yeah, he's right.
You can't say that. You can't say that, Bendu. I'm sorry. This is a family.
Out. Ted, I got your voucher.
Out!
It's the best clip
I never
ever.
noticed the dude in the back being like, Ted, I got your vouchers.
That is the best clip ever.
We'll validate your parking later.
I love just seeing George like messing with somebody and him not even. He's like actually happy.
It's so good.
You know what they could what really could be now that Visions are not Visions. Yeah, no, Star Wars Visions. They got a season 2.
Oh yeah.
Here's the full clip, by the way. Sorry.
Wait! I am not the creator of Mara Jade, and I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Zeb.
No way.
You brought
No
it on
way.
You brought it on yourself.
I don't want you here.
I'm so
Out.
sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Oh, he's got Seth Green.
Out.
Yeah, it's Robot Chicken Extra.
Ted, I got your
Oh, it says Robot Chicken.
Out!
I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. We'll have him like burned and
I don't even know who that guy is.
There. There. I'm not
Yeah,
the creator of Mara.
It's one of the DVD extras from the Robot Chicken Star Wars
such a good
when they went to
fucking
have their
story.
meeting.
You need to get out.
Yeah, don't ever bring up Mara Jade around George Lucas.
Nope.
Or you're gonna get slap fought out the door.
Oh, that'd be great. I would love it if instead of getting his autograph, I got my ass kicked by George Lucas. That would be
Right?
a way cooler story. Like
No,
it's like,
definitely.
see this black eye? George Lucas. It starts to go
Yeah.
away.
Here's
Like,
missing
dude,
tooth back here.
punch
There's
me in the
4.
face. Real quick. Yeah. That's right. Missing
God,
tooth.
that'd be so good. Yeah, you just go around collecting scars and bruises from.
Yeah, exactly. Like, George, cut me with this knife real quick.
I got a cracked rib right here. That's
I'm honored, sir.
I'm never washing this face again.
You know, it would be really clever if somebody had a celebrity sign their skin with a tattoo gun.
I mean, there's plenty of people who do the who like go
Sharpie, and then they
gun
And then they get it traced
immediately-
over. Yeah.
and then immediately book it to a tattoo shop. Yeah.
might not be as
Or,
authentic as
actually-
actually having them just use a tattoo gun. Just
I think
Margot Robbie would.
I think that's the best place for it.
Rumors.
I
are
think
that
an
all
anime
my
series is the
favorite
best place to
things.
tell that story.
Dude,
oh,
this is-
definitely,
Yeah.
As cool as a Clone Wars like
Yes.
Bad Batch animation would be, like something that looks more like Star Wars Visions.
Bro, I mean,
it would be cool if they animated Son of Dathomir. That now that became canon, right?
Yeah,
that would be
Canon
cool.
now?
Although honestly, I want them to go for gold and just give us. Oh no, yeah, Son of Dathomir would be a great anime. I was thinking Dark Disciple. Give us a live action Dark Disciple movie.
Oh, don't break my heart.
Give Ventress a live action send off, man. She deserves it.
Don't
She
break my
deserves.
bro, if Maul gets an anime series, I just want to see it happen where Uncle Owen just fucking shoots him in the head with a blaster. You know?
Oh,
Like-
speaking of which, yeah,
Yeah,
there was a
yeah,
comment
bro.
in there earlier about who's going to kill Reva. My money's on Uncle Owen.
Like
Wait, when has this happened?
the fact that they made this real, the fact that they took something from the fucking concept artist of episode 3 and they're like, you know what, we're gonna take this conceptual story and we're just gonna bring it home.
Oh
Right.
yeah, that's awesome.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Solid, man. Fucking
Do
solid.
it. Do it. Do it now.
Yeah, man. We are just coming up on hour and a half, just about out of time. We're going to start resetting for Kenobi reactions in a minute.
Yeah,
Here.
dude,
Thank you so
give
much
me
for
more
watching,
Dathomir
everybody, and
Twitches.
thank you for joining us.
Give
But
us some Dathomir
yeah.
Twitches.
I'm gonna drop a little bit of a lore video here about some cave writing. So
I'm gonna
Y'all
take a
stay
nap
tuned.
before my Kenobi episode.
yeah, exactly. We're all
I'm
gonna
gonna
take
I'm gonna go
Jedi
for the
power naps.
Knappy.
Kanappy.
Knappy.
Get out of here, Chris. Can you kick him out now? Okay.
Out.
Ted, I got your voucher.
Out!
That's best.
Yes,
Perfect.
out!
That's the best video before
It'll
that.
never get old.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me see.
Like,
Where do I have it? Did I even upload it? Oh shit. No, I didn't. Okay, well it's gonna take a second.
Maul vs. Grievous. I'm pretty sure when
Not very
Colin
prepared.
Karn and I were to get we're in the same state. We did some forced combat where it was Maul vs. Grievous. You might be able to find us do that fight.
That's true. That's true.
Have a great night, people, in the comments.
Thanks.
Here is
Chad.
You have a blessed comics comment section, just like we do.
I love my comment
Yeah,
section, man. It's a
yeah,
bunch of
man.
wholesome
We
individuals.
have a great group of people.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
seriously.
supposed to with all of you
Fun.
guys. Let's give everyone what they want. I'm gonna cut the video off to my lore video I made here about all the wall messages, and then that'll be it for the podcast. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let me grab this here.
Also, thank you again to our amazing guests. If you want to shout out, do a quick plug for the things that you are currently working on or planning to work on in the future, why don't you describe some of it for us?
Well,
If you feel like you can just tell us to fuck right off.
No, it's all right. I do have something. I just haven't came up with a name for it, but in the
We still
fall,
don't have a name.
after summer, start of the school year or whatever, when people are getting back into just work mode and vacations over and all that stuff, I am going to be putting together a live comic book reading. Where the plan is to have a slideshow of the pages as me and some other guests, as maybe you guys would like to join in for a comic book or so.
For live readings.
And we're just going to go from the start of Marvel's, Disney's buyout of Lucasfilm when the comics started.
Skywalker Strikes.
Exactly, baby.
Issue 1, baby.
Yep.
I'm so in. That's right up my alley. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah. So plan is, I just want to
fucking podcast of the wheels, bro.
It's really true. It's really, I can't.
Is that why you hate Trandoshans? Because of the famous literacy rate being so high among Trandoshans?
Whoa, that's not true. That's not true.
People are saying it.
I don't think that's true. They can't read.
I've heard that.
Why is it touching me?
That's why they hunt. They can't read. They're not intellectuals. But yeah, no, I'm trying to get a team together. I've already asked a bunch of people. Everyone seems to be really down and interested. So a name will be cooked up over the summer.
Dwayne,
And
get out of the fucking comment section. Go do something, man.
that's right. Hot takes, baby. Hot takes.
Well, you heard it here first. You can count me in for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So coming
so much
soon to a StreamYard near you. We haven't come up with a name, but that's coming soon as well. But yeah, check all our other stuff out at Broaxium, YouTube, just the way it sounds, Broaxium. And we've got plenty of fun. Sunday nights, we do Shooting the Poodoo, where we just kind of decompress from the week before we start off on Mondays and just have a great time shooting the poodoo. It's really fun. You guys should join us 9:00 Sunday nights.
Is awesome. Yeah, as I said before, I'm going to drop a link to their YouTube channel in the description of the video if you are watching this on YouTube, so you'll be able to click straight there and enjoy the goodness. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast. This has been a blast. I really enjoy that there are so many like awesome personalities in our Star Wars fan community.
Absolutely.
That are just interested in having fun and enjoying Star Wars and talking about the things that we're actually excited for, because that's all that I would prefer to spend my energy on, like if you don't like something, bless it and release it. Just move on from it.
Absolutely.
That's the way I see it. Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't go anywhere, though, because the video presentation is starting thusly. And for everyone else, thank you again. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Always.
Hello there. Kyle Katarn here. Today we're going to be talking about the carvings and inscriptions found on the walls of the hangar on Jabiim. These messages were left by Jedi and other Force-sensitive survivors of Order 66 that have passed through Jabiim following the Path, which is kind of like an underground railroad that existed to help Jedi survivors during the early years of the Empire. The carvings depict various phrases common among the Jedi, such as, "for light and life," and "only when the eyes are closed can you truly see." This is the carving read on screen by Kenobi.
Quinlan was here.
This message in particular was left by Quinlan Voss, although interestingly, his name is not listed on the wall. Several translations have been made by fans, uncovering phrases and names visible on screen during episodes 4 and 5 of Kenobi, but there is much more to the wall that we don't get to see. Thanks to production notes from the Kenobi art department, we now have the full translation of carvings, including a list of 16 Jedi survivor names. The first two names are characters already established in canon, both introduced in the video game Jedi Fallen Order in 2019. Eno Cordova was a human male Jedi master who served the Jedi Order as a scholar and archaeologist with a deep interest in ancient civilizations. While exploring an ancient Zepho temple, Cordova received a premonition about the fall of the Jedi Order and rushed back to Coruscant to warn the Jedi Council. No one on the council was convinced and disregarded his vision. The only member of the Order who believed him was his close friend Jocasta Nu. Nu entered the archives and copied a holocron which listed all potential Force-sensitive children across the galaxy and gave it to Cordova to protect. He hid the holocron in a Zepho temple, thus sparking the main storyline of Jedi Fallen Order. Also first appearing in Jedi Fallen Order is Seer Junda, former Padawan to Eno Cordova and friend of Cal Kestis. It's interesting to note that although Eno Cordova and Seer Junda's names are present in the path, there's no mention of Cal Kestis anywhere in the production notes. Seer accompanied Cal to the Fortress Inquisitorius to recover the list of Force-sensitive children, and even survived a one-on-one encounter with Darth Vader himself. As far as my research is able to show, the remaining 14 names all come from legends, and are being made canon through their presence on the walls of the Jabiim hangar. Rom Koda. This unorthodox Jedi came to the Jedi Order at the age of 18 after serving as a child soldier on his war-torn planet. Found to be Force-sensitive by Mace Windu, Koda was taken to the Jedi Temple and trained by Yoda himself, even though he was far older than Jedi tradition allowed. Koda always took the most dangerous missions the Jedi had to offer. When the Clone Wars broke out, Koda became a Jedi general, but refused to command clone soldiers, instead forming his own militia. Due to this fact, Koda was able to escape Order 66. He later came into contact with Senator Bail Organa, who fed Koda information on Imperial targets. Koda later became a general on the Rebel Alliance and participated in one of the first victories at Camino. Rom Koda was first introduced in The Force Unleashed in 2008. Fable Aston was a human female Jedi Knight who served in the Rebel Alliance during the Galactic Civil War. She was one of the few Jedi to grow up during the reign of the Galactic Empire. You see, Aston's mother fell in love with her Padawan, and the two conceived a young girl strong in the Force. Unfortunately, while Aston was still a baby, her father was killed by a rival. The remainder of Aston's young life was spent on the run from the Empire. After being plagued by dark side visions, Fable Aston sought out and apprenticed herself to an Inquisitor, learning formal lightsaber skills and later betraying him and escaping. Fable Aston first appeared in 1995 in issue number 8 of the Star Wars Adventure Journal, a collection of short stories and adventure material for West End Games' Star Wars RPG. Also first appearing in the West End Games RPG is Corwin Shelvey. Corwin was a college student during the rise of the Empire when he met Darren Arcanian, an Order 66 survivor. Shelvey was trained as a Jedi by Arcanian, and together they roamed the galaxy looking for other Jedi to oppose the Empire. When they arrived on Coruscant, Shelvey was captured by the Inquisitors, and his master came to rescue him. Shelvey and his master fought to escape, but Arcanian was wounded and later died. Shelvey went on the run and later joined the Rebel Alliance. Corwin Shelvey first appeared in a short story in Galaxy Guide number 9 for West End Games' Star Wars RPG in 1993. Padawan Droon Cairnwick was barely trained as a Jedi when Order 66 happened. Cairnwick fled to his homeworld and set up an anti-Imperial propaganda effort. He was captured and imprisoned by the Empire on the world of Gisaril after the Battle of Yavin. Cairnwick joined the other prisoners in an uprising and escaped, later joining the Rebel Alliance. Cairnwick first appeared in a short story in West End Games' Galaxy Guide number 6, Tramp Freighters, in 1990. Now, I've searched the Jedi archives and found no mention of a Jedi simply named Q. However, it's possible that this is referencing Q Ron, a human Jedi Master who survived Order 66. Q Ron battled Inquisitors until his death at the hands of Jarek. With guidance and training from Yoda himself, Ron had managed to learn how to retain his consciousness after death. Q Ron appeared to Kyle Katarn in hopes of guiding him to the Valley of the Jedi on Ruusan. Q Ron was first introduced in Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 in 1997. So here's another pretty renowned name in the Star Wars Legends timeline, Jyn Altus. Jyn Altus was a member of the Jedi Order who served during the time of the Clone Wars. He served as the head of an offshoot group of Jedi known as the Altesian Jedi, who didn't follow the rules and directives of the Jedi Council but still served the Republic. Altus believed that individuals of any age could become Jedi, not just very young ones, and that Masters should be able to take on many Padawans. In essence, he wanted the Jedi's numbers to flourish, rather than remain at a small amount, distant from the rest of the galaxy. His beliefs on the Force powers allowed by the Jedi also differed significantly. Despite being banned by the Council, Altus taught his students the ability to preserve their consciousness after death by transferring it to an inanimate object. This is the same technique used by Sith Lords like Darth Momin to become dark side Force ghosts. Jyn Altus first appeared in No Prisoners, a Karen Traviss Clone Wars novel, in 2009. Tiberius Anderlock was a human male Jedi pilot who lived during the time of the Galactic Civil War. His piloting skills were so formidable that the Empire Squadron Black Epsilon placed a bounty on his head. Tiberius Anderlock appeared as an NPC in Star Wars Galaxies, arriving in 2004 in the Jump to Lightspeed expansion. Now, Valen Halcyon is a name that itself actually needs some explaining. Hal Horn was a Corellian survivor of the Great Jedi Purge who became a noted Corellian security police force officer. He was born Valen Halcyon, the secret son of Jedi Master Neja Halcyon. He was apprenticed to his father, who died shortly after the Clone Wars. When the Jedi Purge began, Neja's former police partner and best friend, Rostic Horn, married Skara Halcyon and adopted young Valen, whose name became Valen Horn, although he went almost exclusively by the name Hal Horn. Hal Horn is the father of fan-favorite character Corran Horn. It's worth noting that the young child Hodja smuggles off Dayu in Chapter 2 is also named Corran. It's possible that Corran is just a really common name, like the Corellian equivalent of John, but with a name like Valen Halcyon written on the wall, I don't think it's a coincidence. First appearing in the West End Games novella Side Trip by Timothy Zahn and Michael Stackpole, Hal Horn became a staple character in the Star Wars X-Wing novel series. Nikos Mar was a Jedi Padawan during the last days of the Republic. During Order 66, he went into hiving in the enclave of the Hodin Jedi Master Plet on the planet Belsavis. Mar later joined Luke Skywalker's Jedi Broaxium, where he trained for about a year before he was struck by a fatal disease called Quanot's syndrome. In an attempt to save his life, Mar's consciousness was transferred into a droid using C-Rook technology recovered from the recent conflict at Bakura, but it was revealed at the end to be unsuccessful. Nikos Mar first appeared in Children of the Jedi by Barbara Hambly in 1995. Also hiding in Master Plet's enclave on Belsavis right next to Nikos Mar was Roganda Ismarin, a human Jedi from Alderaan. As the Jedi evacuated the enclave, Roganda was captured by Inquisitors and taken to Coruscant, where she rose through Imperial society, eventually becoming an Emperor's hand and training in the dark side of the Force. Roganda Ismarin also first appeared in Children of the Jedi. Padawan Drake Logan, apprentice to Master Korab, who was killed by General Grievous during the Battle of Coruscant. Logan was sent to Felucia to aid Aayla Secura in halting the Separatist plans for the world. He survived Order 66 with 2 other Padawans. Together, they deleted all records of themselves from the Jedi archives. Logan fought against Darth Vader and was beaten. He managed to escape, but one of the other Padawans was not so lucky. Logan's story was first told in Reversal of Fortune, a series of daily web strips published on the hyperspace section of StarWars.com in 2004. Also from Reversal of Fortune, Zonder was a Salonian Jedi Padawan during Order 66 who was briefly apprenticed to Barriss Offee during the Clone Wars. Eventually, poor Zonder was captured by Black Sun, given to the Inquisitors, tortured, and later killed in combat against Darth Vader himself. Ekria serves as Jedi Commander during the Clone Wars alongside fellow Padawans Drake Logan and Zonder. Deployed to Felucia in the final months of the Clone Wars, Ekria helped to stop a Separatist plot just as Order 66 was issued. Ekria hacked into the Jedi archives and deleted records of herself along with the other Padawans to hide from the Empire. Eventually, they were tracked down by Darth Vader. And the last name on the wall mysteriously says Henry. This is the final name on the wall listed in the production notes. My research has not come up with any Jedi or Force-sensitive characters that were simply named Henry, so it's my conclusion that this name is an Easter egg referencing an actor or a crew member. 2 possible options are writer Henry Gilroy, who has written for both the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and Henry Thomas, who narrated the Michael Stackpole X-Wing novels. Based on the fact that multiple Stackpole characters have been canonized in this show, I consider the X-Wing connection to Henry Thomas to be likely. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video, or at the very least you learned something. Check out the rest of the channel for more content, reactions, and reviews. Leave me a comment if you have a question or something to say, or if you have a reaction request for me. There's also a link in the description of the video to the Kyle Katarn Discord server, which is a great place to send me those reaction requests. You can also find me streaming 4 days a week on Twitch as Kyle Katarn Official. And if you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/Kyle Katarn Channel. Not only does supporting the channel help me put out higher quality content and get it out to you faster, you also get access to a bunch of cool perks like full-length reactions, early access, content polls, and a couple of Discord perks as well. Thanks again, and as always,
May the Force be with you.